The UN has public battle plans. They're allied with the Chi-Coms and the Fortune 100. Collapse Latin America, collapse Africa, collapse the Middle East, and then flood Western Europe, Russia, the United States with brainwashed political operatives who've been in UN camps. You know, we've got news here that is so over the top, incredible. I don't even know how to respond to this at this point. You know that about 2 hours ago, more than 10,000 UN-trained, U.S. taxpayer-funded, George Soros Open Societies commanded military-age men began throwing rocks at the Border Patrol, stormed over, went over the walls, rampaging across. Many of them got through. They got arrested on the U.S. side. But when they get arrested, then they go before a liberal judge in California, federal judge. The Ninth Circuit controls the courts. They've said that an American flag is hateful, cannot be displayed. They say that the nation existing is evil and racist. That's the mainstream news. America was never great. It'll never be that great. Governor Cuomo, New York. And the U.S. has shut down major San Diego port of entry as migrants rush the border. That's CNN. They have rampaged across it, waving Honduran flags and Venezuelan flags, screaming, "Down with America." And Trump is the Antichrist. And we are not criminals. We are international workers of the world. The average person hears that. Oh, we're international workers of the world. The end of the slogan, written by V.I. Lenin in the 1890s, was unite. International workers of the world, unite. That is the Bolshevik Revolution slogan. 1917. So CNN has the quotes here, and I've got Washington Post. Oh, they said we're international workers. There it is. I was saying Lenin. I know he quoted it when he started getting popular, but I guess it's 1848. They check everything I say. Political slogan, Workers of the World Unite, is one of the most famous rallying cries from the Communist Manifesto, 1848, by Karl Marx and Frederick Engels. Literally, proletariats of all countries unite. But soon popularized in English as Workers of the World Unite, you have nothing to lose but your chains. A variation of the phrase workers of all lands unite, and then Russia, America, is also inscribed in Marx's tombstone. The essence of the slogan is that members of the working classes throughout the world should cooperate to achieve victory in class conflict. Let's boil that down. You're dumb, you're a criminal, you've been thrown out of Venezuela, you've been thrown out of other countries. The UN will give you $1,000 per leg because you're a criminal. To come up and attack the U.S., the Democrats will put you on welfare and you're going to be happy as pie. And then if I dare talk about it, or our crew talk about it, the news goes, Alex Jones is insane. Donald Trump is now Alex Jones. That was all over MSNBC, CNN 2 weeks ago. Trump is insane. I even saw like CNN, the newscast we played here on air. There was a couple of them like, tonight, grave information. The president is now saying that an imaginary caravan is coming towards the U.S. as part of a UN-funded plan to bring down our sovereignty. This first originated with Alex Jones. Alex Jones, the same man that says that there's Martian slave colonies. Never said it, see? But when you hit this level of evil, what do you do at that point? Workers of the world unite. And the V.I. Lenin, larger international workers of the world. Well, I'm telling you, I know my stuff, guys. Look up Lenin International Workers Party. If memory serves, he's the founder of that in 1895. The point is I'm going from memory, but I was rereading some documents just a few weeks ago and came back across that. So these people are literally spouting V.I. Lenin as they charge over the U.S. border. Do you know how frustrating that is? You see that in the distance? That was a Venezuelan flag. And if you look closely, one of those is a Syrian flag. And there's a Mexican flag there. You got a Mexican flag, you got a Venezuelan flag, you got a Honduran flag. You got a lot of flags, but let's just say this. These folks are hopped up and hyped up, and they're ready. Where are the children in these shots? I see one woman right there. She's pregnant. She's going to get that anchor baby in quick. And, you know, Soros lives in Connecticut and lives in Switzerland and lives in Luxembourg. You know, he's not going to be here while we go under the Communist International. And remember, it's a thing because the Austrian-Hungarian Empire and the Russians and everybody else had just freed the serfs. Yeah, white people were indentured slaves. About 80% of white people were slaves on average. And England and others were the first to get rid of it. England got rid of it like 600 years ago. But see, Germany didn't get rid of it till the 1860s. And Russia didn't get rid of it till, when did Russia get rid of the serfs? Public, was it 1880s? I'm going from memory. Let's look up when the Russian czars abolished the serfdom. But point is, the globalists said, how do we con all these people from the farm back in? They're used to being on communes. We'll tell them they're going to come and work in a slave factory, and they'll get part of the pay. They'll never know. There it is. I said, Emancipation of the Serfs, 1861. I remember it was the 1870s and 80s, but I think it was another act too. But point is, it's the same thing in Germany, which was Austrian-Hungarian Empire at the time. Again, if you're a TV viewer, you're seeing me go from memory here, and the crew pulls it up. You can see it for yourself. So this is what's really going on. And you've got them, the big banks, the big globalists, sucking Latin America dry, putting communists in, brainwashing the public, collapsing that country, and then using those dumbed-down, politicized populations that are weaponized to attack the next country in a domino effect. You know that Google and Facebook and Twitter and all these big operations have it set up where they pay almost no tax. Apple's the worst. They have the worst slave factories. They use Chinese government to suppress anybody that tries to unionize and have them killed. But then Tim Cook goes around going, seriously, he goes around going, I'm gay, I'm gay, So it's okay then, because he's liberal. So, well, he's gay, so they own slave factories and kill people that try to, you know, unionize. It's okay, because he's gay. You know, as long as he's gay, it's cool. And so that's what's going on here. So think about that. Think about that long and hard, that Apple doesn't pay any taxes corporately. They're now officially in China. They're state-run. They're tax-exempt. You give Tim Cook a problem, bye-bye birdie. It's curating, though. It's pulling weeds, you know, breaking eggs. He's the super class, you're a slave. But it's the sickening liberal candy coating about how good it is. And then, oh, though America's bad, the average American paying like 60% in taxes one way or another. You're bad. Oh, yeah, fines, fees, income taxes, state taxes, sales taxes, property taxes. Yeah, the average person, well, depending on demographic, but let's just say it's close to 60%. This guy has the rules written where he pays almost no taxes. His corporation pays no taxes. Just like Jeff Bezos is subsidized by taxpayers. In fact, he gets money from taxpayers. It's even worse. But he's going to lecture youth with the media how America sucks and how we got to open our borders and bring in third world populations who they then brainwash and weaponize. How much of this crap do we have to put up with by these monsters? Oh, but don't worry, Alan Dershowitz just went on. See, he's been acting pro-Trump till they make their move. Now the knife's coming out. Alan Dershowitz says that Mueller report will be devastating for the president. Yeah, unless the president goes after Mueller for uranium-1, unless he gets on the offense. But the president's surrounded by a bunch of thumb-sucking cowards. He already told them to indict Hillary, and they said no. Every time I do this, we get the most incredible phone calls. So you won't have to hold long. and I'll go right to you, but I want specifically Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in Southern California, or people in Tijuana, Mexicans in Tijuana, who I know are big listeners in Mexico. We have a huge listenership in Mexico. Alexa shows that. We're almost more popular in Mexico than we are in the United States. Because people like straight shooting. And Mexicans tune into the show. They know that we know what we're talking about. We've done our research. A lot of Mexicans actually want to have a prosperous nation. So if you're a Mexican in Tijuana, or you're a Mexican in an area that's seen the migrants come through, or you're a citizen of another country, visiting or living down there, or you're military currently deployed down there, or you're a Border Patrol part of ICE, if you just joined us, listeners, it's indescribable. Red alert. UN-funded migrant horde of violent criminals just smashed through the U.S. border defenses, tear gas fired. And we've got live sat feeds of this. They hit about 3 hours ago, attacked for about an hour and a half, threw rocks at police, climbed over the border fences, hundreds of them, and we don't know what happened. The others then withdrew. And this is the same thing happened in Macedonia. Same thing happened in Italy. Same thing happened in Serbia. Same thing has happened all over the world, in Guatemala, in Honduras, in Mexico just a month ago. First 1,000 show up, then 5,000, then 20,000. And when they hit about 20,000, they smash down your fences and overrun the police, holding babies up. There might even be, when I say 10% women and children, we're all watching this footage. I mean, there's hardly any women or children. The Pentagon estimates 90% military-age men. They smash over, and then the compliant corporate media only shows a few close shots of women and children. And they have a Photoshop thing of Trump standing over a little girl saying he hurt her or whatever. And then even the Washington Post admits large numbers of smuggled children who aren't with their parents disappear into sex dens as young as age 5. That's the Washington Post. And Michael Moore got one thing right about a month ago. He goes, there's lots of caravans. They're always here. Big deal. Then a few days later, that didn't work, so he started lying again and said, there is no caravan. Remember that? There is no caravan. Well, I guess currently, there is no caravan. There's a whole bunch of them at any one time. U.S. taxpayer funded through the State Department to Soros. It's all on record. So what do? Why do they want to get Lou Dobbs fired a few weeks ago? Because he had Judicial Watch on with the documents saying George Soros is quarterbacking with his Open Society Foundation, quarterbacking, giving him $1,000 debit cards and massing them in Central and South America, $1,000 per leg. Because you don't just want to give them all the money up front, they might run off. You give them each leg of the trip $1,000 per country you traverse. You can do that in style, baby. $1,000, all the food you can eat. They build refugee centers at the border of each new country. So you get into one country, get $1,000. Get to the edge of the new one, there's another refugee center. Rest a week or whatever, get food, get more money. Boom, next level. And you get to El Norte, free everything. This is 21st century warfare. Once they're there, they're enrolled in the names of dead people to vote. They're put on welfare. The Democrats take a skim of that. About half the welfare money, it's total mafia. Project Veritas caught that undercover video. They're put in meat packing plants. They're put in factories. They work illegally. And then a skim of that is taken. If they want to get their kids in, now they got to pay the Democrat lawyers is who all handles it. Here in Austin, it's huge. You drive by, you go by some of these Democrat top law firms, and there'll be a line of Guatemalans, Venezuelans out the door in there. And they're in there getting all signed up to be represented by that law firm. And then that law firm puts them in touch with the Mexican mafia and others who they pay their cut to. And then that money is given to them in political contributions and other deals. And it's big money. Now, I actually know the specifics and names, quite frankly. I was approached by prosecutors and others years ago right here in Travis County, and I was shown all this. I already knew all this. And they didn't even expect me to take action because they knew, what am I supposed to do? You want me to, they just wanted me to know. And The governor knows this. Others know this. This is the type of total lawlessness. Can you imagine the sex exploitation, the skimming off the top? This is a permanent underclass they control that they feed off of. And every time the Republicans try to have a legitimate way to bring law-abiding good people in and make it easier to get here and easier to get naturalized, the Democrats don't want it. They want either total amnesty or nothing. No, we can't do total amnesty for anybody. That's totally lawless. And so they get to keep the illegal operation going while claiming they want to reform it. That's the plan in total. So in the next 2 segments, let me give the number out. A network of cities funding immigration lawyers expanding because they skim off the money. 877-789-ALEX, 877-789-2539. We'll probably have time for 6, 7 calls, and I'll just go to you and get you off because I know you're busy. But I want to hear from law enforcement that's on the border, Border Patrol, ICE. I want to hear people in Mexico that have witnessed all this, people in San Diego who are witnessing it. 877-789-ALEX, 877-789-2539. And we will get your calls. But in case you just tuned in, the U.S. just got hit by the imaginary migrant illegal alien caravan funded by the UN with taxpayer money that just climbed over the border and slammed into police and military. And Trump isn't going to put this out, and he's smart not to, but I can do it at a limited level so you know. From the little reports we got, it looks like hundreds got in. They'll then be sent to immigration judges that let them out for, on average, 2+ years. They just say, we'll see you in a couple of years. They never show. I think, what was the number I've seen? Like 90+% never show back up to the hearings. Well, they've already been given a new identity. They're already working with the Democrats. They're already getting a large part of their livelihood skimmed off the top. We're going to go to break and come back and take some of your calls. Again, that's only calls or people with direct knowledge of this, Border Patrol, ICE, military on the border, people in Mexico that have witnessed the caravan. Please, other callers, let them get a chance to get through. 877-789-2539. All right. I've done an hour and a half of broadcast, haven't plugged yet, and we won't be here if I don't plug. We had Black Friday week, and it is the biggest sale we've ever had because we've just escalated everything. 50% off all InfoWars Life supplements. That's Brain Force, X3, all of it. 50% off all InfoWars Life products, 50% off. And store-wide free shipping, and this is the biggest part. Double Patriot points on your next order. When you check out in our high-tech shopping cart, you automatically get Patriot points, 5% on each dollar. It's 10% on each dollar. That makes a lot of these lost leaders now. So I am, at end of year, getting rid of all of our great inventory. High-quality storable food, 50% off. Alexa Pure, very best gravity-fed stainless steel filter, leading competitors, $400. This is normally $240. It's at $127. That's at clearance price from the factory at year end, so they don't have to pay inventory tax to get it all out. This is the best deal I've ever seen on stainless steel gravity filtration systems. Alexa Pure Pro, $127. All of it at InfoWarsStore.com. Free shipping, store-wide, 50% off to 75% off, and double Patriot points. And you support the InfoWar, a total 360 win. So take action today at InfoWarsStore.com. The UN has public battle plans. They're allied with the Chi-Coms and the Fortune 100. Collapse Latin America, collapse Africa, collapse the Middle East, and then flood Western Europe, Russia, the United States with brainwashed political operatives who've been in UN camps. The very dumbest, the very poorest, the most hungry to then be pushed into our nations. And so the plan to kill America starts with the collapse of Latin America. That's future war, ladies and gentlemen, and we're witnessing it. And in a war, when you're being invaded, there are a lot of doctrinal systems, especially when a war starts. You tell them, no one hit your border. No one is attacking. Again, the Germans at the beginning of World War II, when they would invade Czechoslovakia and Poland, for up to a week, they would say, we have not invaded. We have not invaded. We have not invaded. Now, Hitler would be on the radio and on newsreels to Germans saying, we have stood up and we are fighting back after the Poles attacked our base at Gleiwitz. And the truth is, he'd had German troops attack their own base and then shoot film of it in Operation Himmler, which is declassified, to blame the Poles. But so he was telling Germans, we have smashed into them because they attacked us. Poland has attacked us. But they were broadcasting into Poland, you are not under assault. No one is attacking you. Same thing, there is no caravan. There is no world government. Islam is peaceful. Lay down your firearms. No one wants your guns, but we're going to ban them. This is a tactic. You go, that doesn't make sense. It would discredit those that are telling the lie, that they say there's no caravan, but it smashes through Mexico, smashes through here, it's child smuggling on record. That's because you're informed. They're targeting people that don't pay attention. And you know, I was reading some of the writings of Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi propaganda minister, to understand evil. And he was telling German propagandists, he said, stop giving them big, complex reasons. People just want to be lazy. Give them an excuse not to believe. It doesn't matter if it can be disproven. Appeal to authority. Just have it everywhere. So when bombs were dropping all over Germany and they were starting to lose the war, they would go on air, and if, say, 10,000 homes got burned up in a night, they'd say 2 bombs fell and burned 5 houses. And you go, that doesn't make sense. If you're in a town and a third of the city just burned down overnight because 1,000 Lancaster British bombers and U.S. B-17s just dropped, you know, 100,000, 200,000 fire bombs on your ass, why would the Nazis go on radio, and they had newsreels every day? It was free. You'd go into theaters everywhere. It was like TV, and they'd have a newsreel. You just step in and watch it. They didn't have TV yet, but they had that. Limited homes had TV, but no, I'm digressing off into history. You know, that doesn't make sense. Like, you're getting, whole cities are getting burned down. Why would you say it didn't happen? Because then it would make the debate about people arguing that the city was burned down instead of the city was burned down. You see? They would make the debate about, okay, Acosta chops her hand, grabs the mic, pulls it back. We just zoom in on the video. Everybody sees the video. Everybody sees it's not edited. But say we edited it. Say we sped it up, which we didn't, even though the video is the same length, and make the debate about, did we edit it? See, now you're not talking about Acosta asking 3, 4 questions, not shutting up after the third, pushing her hand down, grabbing the mic back, saying he didn't touch her. What do you do when he's done that? You simply say Alex Jones and Donald Trump are liars. Acosta didn't touch her. That's a fake video. And then everybody has a national debate for 5 days about whether it happened or not. And you're like, that doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. If you're trying to deceive people, think about how smart that is. Think about how smart that is. Instead of having a debate about Acosta not shutting up, always heckling, always asking 3, 4 more questions, you just change it and say it didn't happen, and the debate happens about whether it happened or not. By the way, I love our audience, but we've got 20-something phone lines, and we got one person that's answering the phones. And I said, military or ICE, to give us your take on the border, and the phone's all loaded up, and it's all regular listeners wanting to give their opinion. So we're not going to have any calls, and that's okay. But I wanted to hear from ICE. I wanted to hear from the military. I wanted to hear specifically on people what you think of the invasion and the fact that they said this caravan wasn't coming, and now it just slammed over the U.S. border. And I know why they're not talking about the fact that a couple hundred got over, because they don't want to encourage people to know they're going to now get asylum, basically, because of the liberal judges. But they've already run over the Mexican police. They've run over everybody else, and more are coming, and this is a national crisis. So let me just, in general, give the number out, only for police or military, to give your take on this and how serious this is and how existential it is to the nation's future. Or am I wrong? Maybe the footage we're showing is fake if you're a TV viewer. Maybe it's not over local news that this all just happened, people waving foreign flags. No, it did happen. And I can't believe that we still have CNN saying nothing happened. How insulting is this? So the number again is 877-789-ALEX, 877-789-2539. We'll take a few calls on the other side if they're able to get through. But 877-789-ALEX. I specifically want to get military view on this, or even if you're not on the border, that's a very limited group working right now, ICE. or former ICE, just your take on, you saw Europe overrun by the globalists. You saw them 6 years ago break down the borders. In fact, roll for TV viewers. You know, some of the B-roll the last 6 years of just fences being climbed over and rammed down, the same stuff we just saw. And then once that happens, then they build the UN center in your country, and then it's all over. This is footage 3 weeks ago in Mexico. We told you they were coming. The media said it didn't exist. How crazy is that? Now it's here. And now 50,000+ more are massing. And now you know kids are going to get hurt in this, and they're going to blame America. They're going to blame Trump. And there they are, waving foreign flags. There they are, burning American flags. And the same playbook for Europe is now being played against us right now. 877-789-2539. And tomorrow, I'll be on from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. covering this. You better believe David Knight with the David Knight Show, 8 a.m. tomorrow with this syndicated radio TV show, is going to be knocking out of the park. And why are they trying to censor us? Why are they trying to block us? Because we're loyal Americans. Because we know the program. We know the operation. And it's insulting to us to see Soros at Davos saying, I'm funding Zodiac boats out of North Africa, 100+ a day. I'm funding the collapse of the world. I'm bringing in the third world. We're going to control these people. They won't be able to get jobs. We'll run them. America or Europe gets out of line, they'll burn down every city. And now he's in a hostile takeover of Facebook that could bring down the whole damn stock market. George Soros is now shorting the U.S. stock market to try to destroy it, like Bill Maher said. Let's crash the stock market to kick Trump out. And then he's the bad guy. Trump's the bad guy for being a good person that actually is being pragmatic and standing up for everybody. This is so sick. I'm going to go to break, come back with your calls. Please don't forget that we've had the biggest sale in our history. You notice we've escalated the sales towards the end of the year because they're trying to take our payment processors, they're trying to shut us down. We need to fund ourselves into the new year regardless of what happens. So we're selling many products at cost. We're also helping out other partners like Alexa Pure Breeze, Alexa Pure Pro, the very best air and water filtration systems out there. Gravity fed, stainless steel, amazing. The water filtration, $127. They're selling it to us at cost for like 90-something bucks. We make like 30-something bucks. No one's ever had a deal like this. It's so amazing. Get it today. We've got to end this sale in the next few days because they only had a few thousand at that price. And whether it's high quality, non-GMO, organic coffee, Wake Up America coffee, whether it's apparel, whether it's books, videos, double Patriot points, 10% on each order towards your next order, free shipping store-wide, and 50 to 75% off at InfoWarsStore.com. Our biggest sale ever. Please support us. We need your support.
Stress is a natural part of life. Work, family, friends, and everyday accidents can put a lot of strain on the body and your mood. Don't let life weigh you down. Happies is a powerful mood and stress support formula that has your back against life's daily inconveniences. Made with ancient ingredients used for thousands of years, Happies can help you take back the day. With our powerhouse formula, Happies can be an important part of your daily supplement routine. With poor diet and the constant on and off of your work life, it's more important than ever to support your body in the fight against stress. With powerful ingredients combined to help support the mind and body, Happies helps support during stress, promotes overall well-being, and helps support your mood. Don't live your life bogged down. Help your body overcome the effects of daily stress and pressure today with Happies from InfoWarsStore.com.